So I'm just going to do a quick introduction to my crew. Darcy, come in.
Good morning, guys.
Look, I've got Darcy, my nephew. He's been doing great. Basically, this guy has been going through an endurance challenge of his own. It's a long old stretch when you're 13 and you'd rather be asleep or doing something else with your mates. But well done, Darcy. It's been great. This is my sister Esther.
Morning.
Absolute legend. Was basically my booking assistant as well for all my accommodation all the way along the way. Whenever I needed somewhere, I'd drop her a line. Within 3 minutes, she'd come back and say, here's 4 options. What do you think? Book it. Be my absolute saviour. It's done so much driving, so much getting up early, so much stuff to help me. It's absolutely incredible. Best crew ever. And I've got a new member of the crew from yesterday. Still on an internship at the moment. This is my mum.
I raised this madman.
Yeah, she made this happen. In here we've got Dave, another member of the crew, new navigator here. And he's the one that when we're driving down a dodgy road, we ask him, we say, Dave, is this all right? Is this going to work? Is the car going to brake? So that works. And then over here, rarely in front of the camera, but this is Nadia, this is my wife Nadia, been an absolute superstar. Hero, basically has put up with all my grumping, has done loads and loads of driving, the smell in the car, me barking, things like, where's my toothbrush? I need to brush my teeth. Where's my things? Just this morning alone. And has basically made this all possible and given me the platform to go and do it. And then somewhere over here,
it's a bit of a grump.
is a little, we've got one more. It's hiding. It's this guy. We don't know who he is. We're going to find out later. You have to watch on to the end of the video to find out who this is. So morning everyone, we are on day 64. I'm just leaving Ulm along the river here, along the paths. Looks like a lovely town from what I saw for about 20 minutes. The run in yesterday was magic. Lots of people rowing and people on the paths on bikes, and just looks like a really nice city. I would have loved to explore it a lot more. I keep saying that about the places, but just didn't have time because we had such a late finish yesterday. And so I'm out a little bit earlier today, 8 o'clock, good earlier sort of start, and I've got about 30 miles ish to run today. The aim really, I've got to get to a 30 minimum. If I can take out 35, that'll eat a few miles of tomorrow's as well. So I've basically got about 123 miles according to my commute route planning left on the whole route journey. Over 4 days, so 31.7 or something miles per day. So whatever I can eat more than that, great. But we'll just see how it goes. I feel all right. Actually was in a camper van last night, slept really quite well, despite I don't have a pillow. So I had my son's kind of airplane cushion to put my head on, but weirdly it kind of worked. It was in my sleeping bag. And yeah, good spirits. So we're in the camper van now for the remainder of the journey, basically. Still got my crew here today. They're going to be coming out a little bit later on. I'll see them around 10 miles. Spirits are high. I'm still feeling strong. I've got little bits of the start of a cold. Without going into too much detail, I just, when you sort of know, there's a little bit of yellow, if that's not too much information. Not loads, but I've got to keep an eye on that, hoping that the immune system can just carry me through the last few days. I'm not feeling it too bad, but just aware of it. It's cooled down here a lot. I think today we've got 60% chance of rain. It's gone to that kind of damp, kind of claggy feeling again that we had a few days back when I was running with Ray, which is nice and cool, but it's also quite sort of humid in its own way because the storm hasn't really kind of cleared everything properly. But I've got my jacket, so that'll keep me nice and dry if I need it. And I have no problems, like I said, anything. There are no problems here really that you can't overcome, and all of them come with their benefits. At least it's cooler than it was yesterday. So feeling good. Want to crank this one out and get it down to 3 days I mean, that sounds absolutely crazy when I say it out loud. Just after this one, just 3 days to go. Bonkers, really. Getting there. Getting very close. Me and American Monkey back there. Don't know where he's gone. But starting to believe that we might just make it. Still got work to do though, so A to be intact today. Again, steady, sensible, controlled. Get this one done. And then we think about the rest of it once we're there intact. And then the rain came. Here it comes properly. So we've reached the end of day 64, which means 65, 66 and 67 are all that remain. It's about 90 miles left to go. Today we covered 31 and a bit. So that took a little bit of an extra chunk off, just enough basically to leave me 3 30-mile runs to complete the task here. Leaving Ulm was lovely. Ran some really nice stuff this morning out of Ulm, then a little bit of kind of industrial, you know, basically trading estates and big business before hitting the usual kind of dike paths and bits and pieces. I think the one thing that I can really remember about today though was the fact that I think after about, I mean, I ran really well to sort of 20 miles, it sort of flowed pretty quickly. We're going through all these kind of farmlands and sometimes even across fields, and yeah, it's very, very rural here and actually really, really lovely. And then as I kind of got to the point where I was just trying to run my last, I think I had like 6 miles to go. I just met the crew. We went to a place called Algershofen, which my surname is obviously Alga. That was a bit of a funny joke. Took a few photos. It's a lovely little tiny little village as well. And then the heavens opened and it absolutely poured it down. And this is the first time I've had proper rain like this. I mean, it was bouncing up off the floor like and make it a whole different sort of sheen of colour on the tarmac, and I got drenched, properly soaking wet through. I don't mind running in it, absolutely fine, no problem about that. The only problem is it creates certain sort of logistics when you've got to get your kit dry again for the morning and you don't really have anywhere to dry it or wash it and all of that kind of stuff. So at the moment I'm desperately trying to get dry kit so I don't have to run in wet, soggy, soaking kit tomorrow. The shoes are drenched, so those have got some newspaper or basically kitchen roll, whatever toilet tissue stuffed in them to try and get them to dry out a bit. But yeah, really pleased with how I ran today. Felt really good for most of it, and eased back for some bits as well. You know, I did the sort of 5 miles an hour basically that I've been doing all along for this journey, and now I think I'm just going to sort of rest back on that formula that was really working for me this whole time. Just I might run 4 miles and walk one, or I take a slightly sort of longer break sometimes when I want to sit down with the crew, the family, and eat some chocolate and cake and refuel and all that kind of stuff. But that's working, so all I've got to do is basically do that again 3 times, and I will be at the source. The one thing as well, the river is getting very, very narrow now, and now it's very reminiscent of the Thames in a way. I've run along the Thames, and there are parts of it today where I looked at and it felt like the early Thames, you know, out beyond kind of Oxford and that. It's no less beautiful, still stunning, lots of bridges going over, and yeah, through lots of villages with lots of nice kind of churches, but very, very rural, and I'm just really enjoying it, to be honest. I'm going to try and soak up every single minute of this last 3 days, whatever it throws at me, whether it's rain, whether it's snow, whatever comes. I'm going to try and do it with a smile on my face, because this has been the journey of a lifetime, and I really want to basically soak up what's left. So grateful to be out here doing it. The other thing that's happened is tomorrow morning I'm going to be on the BBC breakfast morning at 8:45 in the UK time, and they're going to talk to me about what I've been doing out here. So that's a biggie. Hopefully that's going to help bump up some of the fundraising, so we get a few more people maybe sponsoring to get that kind of a bit higher up. But that's going to be wonderful to chat to them about what I've been doing. And so tune in. It's on I think it's on BBC One tomorrow at 8:45. But anyway, I better go and get some rest and get ready to do that, and then do tomorrow's run. But thanks as ever for your support and your comments, and I will speak to you all tomorrow. It's Riley. Here he is, crew member number 1.